Okay, we are live. There's nobody in the room yet. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a live draft reactions episode of The Kingdom Says. I am your host, as always, Garrett Williams. Tonight, I am joined by my draft homie, Mr. Thomas Pike, Arrowhead. Tom, how we doing tonight, Tom?
Listen, I'm doing great. It's been an up and down first round. I think that the one player who I thought was like I just like that I want the most is still sitting there, and Josh Simmons. Like that makes the most sense value wise. But we've got some action on the board. We wanted to jump in live just in case. We're
just in case the Chiefs do something.
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting little time here.
These numbers. The numbers on, I don't know if you can see this, Tom, on the broadcast. So we have 116 viewers right now. So that's kind of crazy. So shout out to everyone who's joining us. I think there's a lot of people.
Welcome, everybody.
Randomly joined up with us. Yeah. So that's cool. We are here reacting to the end of the round one. The Giants just traded up with the Texans. The Giants gave up number 34, which is their second rounder tomorrow, a 2025 third round pick, and a future sixth round pick. So they moved up 9 spots essentially for a third round pick and a future sixth. And oh my goodness, the Giants are taking Jackson Dart.
Really?
Let's go. That's my guy. That's my guy.
That's my guy too. I like Jackson Dart a lot more than I like some of the other guys.
Dart, I've been a huge fan of his ever since he was at USC. Obviously, I'm a USC guy. He was an absolute dog at USC before Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams came over and kind of ran him out of town. He went down to Ole Miss, absolutely balled out down there too. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's a superb athlete. Just really good arm to him. I think he's going to be a good pro. I really like that for the Giants. That is not Shedeur, which a lot of people thought it might be. I would have picked Jackson Dart over anyone, any quarterback in this draft. So that's a good pickup for New York. Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked that the Houston Texans are out of that 25 spot. It gives us a better chance of getting that Simmons, but. Yeah, Dart, I think is. I like the way the ball came out of his hand. He seems. I know Ole Miss kind of has a simpler offense, but he seemed to process pretty well. He's got different experiences. I like Cam Ward, but again, this class pretty weak. We've talked before about the difference between those first positions and second, third on people's boards. Not the biggest. I do want to just throw it out there. This is live. We're watching here at our screens. We're getting the information as we come. It's draft day, just so you know, people may see things before we do. We'll try to do our best not to tip the pick, too crazy or anything, but also forgive us if we're looking around. I've got my 2 monitors here. I know we're also running socials and we're going to do some write-ups and all that stuff.
Try to make a graphic. We got some graphics coming out for all the picks. We got write-ups coming out for all the Chiefs picks that will eventually happen. So
and I will just tell you guys, because Garrett won't say it, but I'll say it. I've seen the graphics that he did this year. They are so clean. Like, they're so clean that what's that one guy who, shared your graphic without giving you credit a couple of months ago? They're going to be ripping Garrett off left and right.
Oh, yeah. I remember that happened. Who was that? Trey Wingo, I think.
Yeah. So if you're not following our Kingdom Says X account, or if you're not on Facebook or Instagram, we're everywhere. Usually it's The Kingdom Says. If you just punch that into the search bar, we should pop up. You can see our logo and stuff here on the screen. Make sure you're following and do us a big favor. Share those graphics when they come out. Garrett is he's good at what he does. He's worked hard at that, and I just want him to get his flowers for that because it was he did some really good work on these graphics. And
appreciate it. Yeah, I am pretty proud of him. I will say I'm pretty proud of these graphics.
They're very clean. Yeah, very clean.
And more importantly, though, I hope it's a really good player and a really fun player that we can put on that graphic. So, Tom, we're at pick 26 now. Rams are on the clock, obviously, after Jackson Dart at 25. Who's still left on the board that you're thinking of? Obviously, Josh Simmons is still there. That's been a guy who's been mocked. Probably at least 50% of the mock drafts have the Chiefs taken Josh Simmons. Yeah. So that's obviously still a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh Simmons at this point, it's going to be a big it's the questions about the medicals. We know that Kansas City had him in for a top 30 visit. I would be disappointed if they pass on him, but I also would defer and trust that medical staff, knowing that they're willing to take risks on medical guys. If you look at what they did with Trey Smith, but it's it's going to be an educated, a smart kind of decision. That those patella tear injuries, the torn patellar tendon that Simmons had is a big one. Early on, it was reported as an ACL. ACL was less concerning. Since it's come out that that it was a patellar tendon injury, it seems like there's been a lot of kind of backing off. So Josh Connolly out of Oregon is also there. I've shared my thoughts before just to kind of keep it simple. I don't know. There's things about Josh Connolly that I like. I don't know if he offers you, at least as a prospect, I see him pretty similarly to Kingsley from last year. But I think if they believe in that and that's their pick, I could live with that because I just think that there's such a need.
I mean, there's a little bit of like faith in the coaching staff having, we always trust Beach. We always trust Beach and the process. So.
And Connolly is one of the younger quarterbacks in the class, one of the younger tackles in the class at 21 and a half,
which is nice.
So I mean, I think there's that, but then obviously there's other positions out here. Before we went live, I was hyping up Nick Scourton out of Texas A&M. Reminds me a lot of George Karlaftis. If you haven't checked out our mock draft warfare episode that dropped earlier this week, you should, because we do cover the second, third,
a lot of guys.
The fourth round, I believe. Mine's already ruined because Derek Harmon went way earlier than expected.
Unfortunately, to the Steelers, which was one of my home run draft crushes this year was Derek Harmon. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, good value there. But yeah, I think we had a moment where James Pierce was still on the board, and I'm like, James, and none of you guys jumped on that, and I was surprised. Listen, I know there's some off the field stuff with Pierce. At the combine, came in 6'5", 245, so he's a little light in the pants. But let me read this to you: 32 3/4 inch arms. His arms are longer than probably 90% of the tackles in this class. 10-inch hands. This man's got long arms with baseball mitts at the end of him, and he ran a 4.47. So
it's pretty crazy. Wow.
And he has a reputation as a speed rusher, but he doesn't. That's not how he plays it.
Yeah, I agree. That's good. Well, let's see who else might be available. There's more trades happening as we go through this. The Falcons have just traded back up to Rams pick number 26. They gave up 46, pick 242 in this year, and a first rounder next year.
Ooh.
So the Falcons gave up their second round pick this year and their first rounder next year to trade back up. They get 26 and 101 from the Rams, so they get like a third rounder or like a late third rounder, early fourth rounder there. Apparently it's for defense. Nothing's been confirmed, but apparently it's for per the Slick Rick sources. Oh, and it's going to be James Pierce. Actually, that is. So I'm glad you just explained well.
All that time hyping him up, and now he's going somewhere else. Cool. All right, you know who's terrible? Josh Simmons, worst tackle in the class. We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to say his name.
Well, I think the problem is that you already said. I think you got to start talking about other prospects. And who wouldn't you want to see?
You know who they should take? Let's take I can't believe they just took Pierce.
That's crazy. They just traded a future first for James Pierce. I mean, get James Pierce. I wasn't up or down, but man, a future first to trade it back up and get him is kind of crazy.
Didn't they take the edge earlier in the day? Didn't they take what's his name? Who did they take?
Who did they take? They took Jalen.
Jalen Walker. I guess they needed two edges. That's going to be a really athletic front for them. If those guys pan out, that's good. Let's talk about Maxwell Hairston. He's a guy. He plays football. An option because he's south of the Mason-Dixie line and he's tall and doesn't have ball skills. So actually, he's only 5'11". But ran a 4.28, so he's fast. We can talk about that. It's safe. Somebody else should take him.
That's pretty safe. Yeah, it seems like it might be a safe one. Another interesting prospect who's been dropping in this draft, Will Johnson out of Michigan. I don't know if it was heavily reported as much in the pre-draft process, but now it's been coming out that he has a pretty significant knee injury he's dealing with. I don't know if that was made as known throughout the process, but That's he's a top corner in the draft who's now fallen to to the Chiefs' range. I don't know if that's exactly the type of corner that Spags would like. He's a good player though. He's a really good ball player, so you can't be too mad about it if it happens. But very interesting. Now that the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock at 27, and there's just been a plethora of random trades, teams trying to trade back. Obviously, the Giants just traded up. I think the Saints were another team potentially rumored to trade or try to trade back into the first round.
And it's possible
still there. So
I think the Ravens are probably going to pick. I think the Lions are probably going to pick here. The Chiefs could be that team that especially because I'm sure people have called the Eagles. I'm sure there's all that going on, but we'll see. They could trade down, which would be really disappointing. Although if that happens, you know what we need to do? Make sure you guys are here tomorrow for our coverage. Make sure you're following so we can, again, get those draft graphics spread across the land. They're definitely worth it. Worth making sure you're following just for that alone. And we'll have our thoughts written up on those as those prospects come in. Man, this is I kind of forget how anxiety-inducing this can be.
Especially once you get closer here. It's like, man, the Chiefs could trade up at any of these picks. So like, we're on pick watch because they could trade up for any of them. They might trade back.
Yeah, and it wouldn't cost a lot. As is tradition, they could jump in front of Buffalo just to do it. Hey, I know you said we got people in the chat. I want to hear from others. I don't know if we're seeing any comments. But who do you guys like? Who's left? Do you have any questions about guys left on the board? I'd love to talk about any prospects that you guys have questions or want opinions. We're here. We're in it together. Let's chat, guys.
If you're in Twitter or if you're on X here right now, just leave some comments on who you're targeting still. Couple wide receivers still have their names yet to be called. Luther Burden, obviously a local Mizzou guy, still on the board. My guy Jalen Knoll might be a little bit of a reach at round one, but
my friend, I will riot if they take Jalen Knoll over Luther Burden.
That might be.
We will have to have some conversations about whatever voodoo witchcraft you have put out into the universe to make that happen.
I would be happy because mock draft warfare will have been won.
It will have. I will retire from
funny
the
thing
event.
Too is everyone on the graphic post. I put out a little poll of who had the best mock draft warfare. I think I got last place as far as the popular vote. So just another chip on my shoulder to.
It wasn't Randy.
I think Randy was the winner of the.
I know he was technically the winner, but he's not the winner in my heart. I'm the winner.
He's not a winner. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. We'll see. Josh Conley still available. Josh Simmons. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who is still left after a couple of these teams that Chiefs are obviously very familiar with, and seems like a couple of these teams seems like Baltimore always is targeting the same guys that the Chiefs are. Seems like Buffalo is always a team that's kind of interested in the same people.
I think Buffalo definitely is a team that there seems to be some similar thoughts and plannings of, but I think the Ravens are just good at drafting players. So if I knew the Ravens were interested in a player, I'd probably go look for it. Go give them another look. Scheme wise, they do a lot of different things than Kansas City, but I've said it the whole time. The goal for this draft good players. And that sounds right.
Yeah, that's the best thing. And we've talked about it on our episodes numerous times about how the Chiefs have set themselves up with their free agency moves and whatnot to just basically go best pick available. There's not really a gaping hole at any position as far as this year's roster. Now, that's a big thing that we've kind of discussed is that this year's roster, there's not like the most obvious holes, but if you look ahead to next year, there's a lot of contracts that are going to be expiring. A lot of corner contracts are going to be up. Right tackle Jawan Taylor is going to be up. Obviously we expect a Trey Smith deal to happen, but right now he is still just on a 1-year deal. So there's still a lot of guys next year that won't be on the team. Obviously Travis Kelce more than likely will not be on the team next year. He'll probably retire. So there's a lot of looking ahead of taking this draft and kind of nailing some of those picks for your future as much as you are for your current 2025 squad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got to. We always tend to think of it as immediate needs next year, but teams really are looking at, the long-term future. They have an idea of what guys they think they can keep and what guys are probably going to leave in free agency, and they have to, you kind of have to sometimes draft one again, especially with a class like this and drafting in the position you're in. This is important because this is your first round pick.
Yeah,
you get that 5th-year option, right? You don't want to be a team not picking up a 5th-year option on a player.
It is very helpful.
It's just not a good position to be in. And it's a very public kind of like, oh yeah, no, we messed that up. So yeah.
Yeah, so the Ravens pick is now in. It's not a guy that we had talked about, which is a positive. Georgia's Malaki Starks. What a really good player. And it's a guy that we hadn't really talked about a lot through the process, a little bit, just because safety is still kind of a need for the Chiefs. And I really liked Malaki Starks coming out. I think he's a really, really good player. He was probably the top safety on most people's boards, either between him or Nick Emenware, who is still available, which is something to consider. But Georgia Bulldogs obviously have had a lot of success, especially on the defensive side in the NFL. So that's probably going to be a pretty good pick, pairing him up with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I will say, Starks this year, some injuries, looked just not the same player. If you go back to last year, I think I even shared early on before the season. It's like right after the draft last year, I was in the group chat telling you guys about Malaki Starks, and I said with my chest at the time, I haven't been this excited like watching a safety play since I was watching Eric Berry at Tennessee. Not the same player, but the type of just impact he had last year. This year, I think I think injuries were part of it. His testing, like his straight line numbers and stuff, were not awesome, but his field workouts were good. The GPS timing on things, checked out. So I think he fell a little bit because of the concerns about that step back. What kind of player are you getting? Are you getting this guy last year who? And I know the injury piece is part of it, but I think he just it kind of looked more like he was overthinking at times, or just thinking it too much. It wasn't moving as instinctually as he had the year before. So, I think it's a good pick. It's a totally Ravens pick. That's gonna pair really well with Kyle Hamilton. That's that is a rough one for those who line up against that team though.
Yeah, that's an interesting one for sure. And they didn't have to move up or anything for him, which is always a big positive when you land a guy that you probably already wanted to go with, and you don't have to move up for him or anything. Yeah, that's a good pick. It's a good pick. Select good players. That's what we talk about. Gotta just select good players if you can. And that's a good player.
Killing me. I haven't seen any questions or comments. I know you're out there.
Yeah, nothing so far. We'll just keep on rolling here as the picks continue to roll in. Detroit on the clock next. Only 3 picks ahead of where Kansas City is. So.
Yeah, Detroit's a team that likes to fill the trenches, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like Nick Emenware go. Big physical player there. But I could also see, you know what? I think this is probably going to be this could be Nick Scourton. That would make me a little sad. I think Nick Scourton is very, very similar in profile to George Karlaftis. Maybe a little bit more athletic out of the box, but I'm a fan. Oh, well, we appear to still be live, and Garrett was gone, and now he's back. Oh, that was terrifying. I was like, weird. Garrett, I need an adult. I just want to point out that you left me unattended.
Yeah, in like a whole 5 seconds
in the stream, and I kept my clothes on. I
was about to say, did you keep the pants on? That's good to hear.
I did. Yeah, no, all my clothes are still on. And I still, man, y'all are killing me. Where's the chat at? Chat, where are we at?
I'm looking. I don't know if we're able to see Twitter comments on our studio. That might be.
Do we have Twitter comments on Twitter?
Yeah. So there are comments on Twitter, but I don't know if this our studio allows us to see them or not. So if you have any pressing questions, I'll tell you what. Go over to our YouTube channel, The Kingdom Says, over on YouTube. We're also live over there much better chat feature. Ask us some questions. Maybe just drop a subscribe if you're over there too. Might as well.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how we can get some questions in.
Yeah, I like that. That's quick thinking.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like. I guess I can see. I can see
I'm
this.
about to jump into our own chat and start asking questions. Look.
Yeah, see. So I don't know. Maybe we can see. Maybe just people aren't as questionable on Twitter. Just looking for. They're just here for the good time. They're just here for the good time.
Oh yeah, no, I saw your. I saw your Twitter.
Yeah.
You see my YouTube comment though. We're learning. We're learning while doing. Oh, there it is.
Yep,
Small delay. Small delay.
That's a good question out of Thomas from YouTube.
No.
What is your secret, Tom?
Condition it with a lot of tears, and I read it a good night story every evening. A little tale to keep it inspired. Usually something Viking and related, but yeah. So we are here. We are rolling. It looks like Detroit's still on the clock. Come on, Detroit, hurry up.
So it's seeming like, just reading the tea leaves. It seems like Josh Simmons might indeed still be around at 31 if the Chiefs are sold on him or not. We're not even sure if the Chiefs are sold. They brought him in for a top 30 visit, so they wanted to obviously get another set of eyes, another set of medicals on him, check him out a little bit more in depth. But barring something surprising, I don't know, he might still be there, and that'll be interesting to see if they decide to go that direction. Obviously, Luther Burden might still be there. There's a couple guys who it's like, man, you almost, you kind of worry sometimes is picking this late if there's going to be people you have left. But then it's the next question of, well, if you can trade back and still get a guy in the early second round, then you might have to look that way. But it's not. I don't know. This frame of the draft is it's always an interesting one of who gets kind of valued a lot higher than you anticipate. If some guy sneaks into the first round you didn't really anticipate, should be interesting. Should be interesting to see. Yeah, Josh Simmons, Josh Connerly, Luther Burden. Some names. There's definitely some names. A couple edge rushers still. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one to see as a very long intermission here between the two picks. It seems like.
It's going to be stressful. Yeah. I am typing and doing some research. See, this is why we need you guys in the comments. Holler, my friends, holler. Shoot. All right, have they announced this Detroit pick yet? And now it feels like time.
Yeah, not from what I've seen.
Yeah, we're over here refreshing the Twitter feed.
Just kidding. As soon as I say that, they do announce another guy that we actually didn't even talk about. Defensive tackle Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State.
Hey, you know what? I'm happy with that because Tyleik's a good player.
Not bad.
I think he's a very much a you get what you get kind of player. There's a lot of people who've been talking about, well, yeah, there could be upside there as a pass rusher. He's a little bit older. He's been around Ohio State for a while. I just think if that was going to be unlocked, it would have been unlocked by now. But he's a great a two-gapping tackle that nose tackle mold. He'll fit really nice in Buffalo next to Ed Oliver. So a solid pick, a safe pick. I'm sorry, that was Detroit, not Buffalo. Excuse me. He'll still fit really well in Detroit, in the middle of that defense. But yeah, I'm kind of glad because he's not a guy that I would have been excited about for the Chiefs to end up with.
Exactly. Yeah, now you do question the, the rest of the day two, kind of defensive tackle. Who might be still left in that day two range. If the Chiefs don't go here at 31 for someone like that, there's not a whole lot of other names that really. Well, let's see who's kind of still going to be left. I think, Shamar Turner might still be left. Darius Alexander, Alfred Collins, TJ Sanders.
Collins. I know they did their work on Darius Alexander. He's an older prospect, so I'm a little weary of that. I think he'll be 25 or 26 his rookie year. So it's something to consider. But he's strong as an ox. He would be. But again, what I wouldn't not a first round consideration for me, even though he's got a lot of love.
Right.
But when you're playing at a school like Toledo, and some of that tape is, hey, yeah, you're strong. Yeah, it's because you're a 25-year-old dude pushing around, 18, 19, 20-year-old, freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
You get the old man strength bonus. So um, I I can see Alexander being a solid pro, but not something I'd be excited about in the first round.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't take him there either. But then you look towards, the Chiefs' next pick at 63 and 66, and kind of theorize if you still want a defensive tackle, which I think still would be a very, very good addition to the Chiefs if they could add a talented defensive tackle in one of their first 3 rounds. I would say, that would probably be one of the more preferred options. So it's kind of, you start to look at who might still be available there at the end of the second. If you were to go for a trade down at the end of the first tier, sneak into the early second, who might be some guys. It'll be, I don't know. That's one of the positions that seems to drop off a little bit, and not really ideal. Still would have loved if Derek Harmon was there, which is a darn shame. It's a darn shame.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my mock draft warfare pick. So you think you were disappointed when?
Yeah, Harmon. I know. That was the one. I mean, that's who it would have been my pick if I had the number 1 overall pick in mock draft warfare, because he is a dog. Washington on the clock now. We have Washington, Buffalo, and then the Chiefs, barring any trade outs or trades or anything like that.
I wonder if this is Will Johnson, because I know the Commanders need some secondary pieces.
Could be. Yeah, they traded. Let's see. They traded for what's his name, Marshawn Lattimore last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still there.
But they still need some youth back there.
Still need some youth for sure.
They picked up some things. They could go offensive line.
Well, I don't know. So they're showing on NFL Live. They're showing some of the Commanders' acquisitions. They traded for Deebo Samuel this offseason, which I honestly forgot about, which is kind of funny. They also traded for Laramie Tunsil this offseason. So they've covered some of their bases as far as tackle and wide receiver. It seems like, corner might be a good option. Randy Elberger has joined the chat. 2 offensive tackles left.
Burden.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're just stacking up the next 3 picks, you're guaranteed to get one of the 2 of Josh Connerly and Simmons or Luther Burden at this point. So
if the Chiefs, they'll probably go with and break our hearts, but so
that'll be interesting to see. Simmons, I still would like. I think Simmons really still makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs, especially with how they've set up their offseason signing Jalen Moore, so you don't have to start Josh Simmons immediately. He can kind of have a redshirt year if you want him to. You can kind of sit there and learn. Obviously, left tackle is his future. Theoretically, though, next year after Jawan Taylor is gone, you might slide him over to right tackle, might slide Jalen Moore over to right tackle. Who knows? But the Chiefs still obviously have a very, very glaring need as far as their future long-term left tackle, Jalen Moore. It's TBD to see if he'll work out or not. The Chiefs might be absolutely in love with Jalen Moore, and he might really show up and impress a lot more than anticipated during this season. But I think the safe pick or the logical pick in April right now would probably be offensive tackle.
Yeah. We haven't talked a lot about Burden because I just think that he wasn't somebody that we really expected to be there.
Yeah.
And he's an interesting player. There's so many people who I trust who love Burden, and I'll be honest, I didn't do a lot of work on him just because I thought he was going to be. I saw him as a top 20 guy in this class.
Yeah.
It'd be an exciting pick. You might have to, get a little bit creative and manufacture some touches, but he's so fun with the ball in his hand, and it's weird because it's not like the things that made him so exciting last year went away. This past year, it's just he didn't have consistent play around him. Struggles at the quarterback position and that type of thing. But this is a guy who last year was very productive, and there might be there's some concerns about measurables, just a hair under 6 foot, 190, 193. But he's Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong profile. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Luther Burden. He is 6'206", so he's pretty compactly built, but I think he's also got smaller hands. I'm going to pull him up here.
While you pull him up, Tom, the Commanders' pick is in. And spoiler alert, is an offensive tackle, Tom. It is an offensive tackle at 29 to Washington. It is not the guy that we're looking for, though. It is Josh Conerly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon, going to Washington. So that leaves Josh Simmons, Luther Burden, Nick Manaware. There's a couple other names, but it seems like Simmons, Scouting.
Get out. I think you can get out.
Mike Green is still available. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, like there's still some names that are very intriguing here, and the Chiefs are only 2 picks away, so we'll see. We will see.
I wonder.
Randy, there goes your guy for Mock Draft Warfare. Still got more chances on day 2 and 3, but yeah, it's another one bites the dust.
I have to wonder. Obviously, we could do the Saints could come up for Shedeur, but also we see it in the inter-division trade and let the Raiders come up for Shedeur.
That'd be kind of crazy. I feel like
it would be a little crazy, but I think
I'd be open to
it. But I wonder if somebody will. I think that there is a novelty that comes with the Raiders. I from reading some of the tea leaves, I think the Raiders are a team that want Shedeur, but probably don't want him. Obviously, didn't want him at 6. But you think about it, you get Genty, you have some stability there with Geno, and then you can let Shedeur sit. And Geno is a good archetype for Shedeur to sit behind.
Definitely.
I'm not saying that because I want it to happen. I also am not too worried about Shedeur developing into anything good. So
exactly, yeah, Shedeur. I mean, he'll probably have a fine career somewhere if he goes to the Raiders. I'm really not too worried about it. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, though. It's gonna be really
real quick on that Burden conversation. 8.5-inch hands. That's 4th percentile. So when I say 4th percentile, I mean that 96% of other wide receivers drafted, at least back in the mock draftable database, have bigger hands than 8.5 inches. So when we talk about Burden, he's great with the ball on his hand. I don't know if he's necessarily the strongest at the catch point, and I wonder if that contributes to that, and I wonder if that's something the teams are kind of looking at and concerned about.
Yeah, Kyle tuning in saying, I'm glad they took Connolly so we didn't. That's valid. Yeah.
I do like the pick for Washington because I think Connolly could be a fine right tackle.
And, that's the thing. I think he'll be a really good right tackle. That's just kind of what's the issue with him in the Chiefs,
I didn't like his anchor and his strength at left. I think when you're up against the premier guys, and I know teams flip it around and all that, but a lot more comes to that left side, and there's just a lot of pressure when you're playing on the left. So you like the pick for the Commanders. I like the strategy. You've got offensive pieces. You've got a dynamic quarterback. Do your best, and they learned their lesson with RG3. You've got to keep those guys safe.
Got to protect the quarterback. Yeah.
There's a throwback. All right. Well, we didn't jump in front of the Bills this year.
No, did not make it. Can't say he didn't make a move, but didn't make a move up. TBD still if they decided to make a move down or not.
Looks like Buffalo's still on the clock.
Yeah, haven't seen any other rumors of teams trying to trade up or anything. Jordan Schultz, one of the more locked-in insiders that always is pretty good at tipping picks and stuff like that. Hasn't really reported that anyone else is making big calls or anything. So I know the Eagles were reported to be trying to move up, but I doubt they'll do that now. Bill's pick is in, still TBD of who it is. But on the broadcast, it says that the pick is in, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Technically, it says, since the Bills' pick is in, the Chiefs are now on the clock.
The Chiefs are on the clock. I will say this also makes sense if they go Nick Emenware here, the safety out of South Carolina, because the Bills have got a small safety room, and they could definitely upgrade.
They've lost a couple big safety. I think, what was his, Micah Hyde retired this offseason. The other one I think also is not there anymore. I forget the other one.
Well, I know Hammond's still there, and I forget the other guy, but they're both smaller guys.
Yeah, that would be a good pick. Good pick for him.
Yeah. So I am
still don't see anything
sitting and watching. Real quick, while we're waiting on that, just to kind of throw out some other AFC West news. Obviously, the Raiders went with Ashton Jeanty at 6.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that is a pretty big one. The Broncos got Jahdae Barron at 20, which Barron's a baller. I don't think he's. I'm not as high as some people, but I think he's a baller, and you're making a strength to strength, and he is, of course, a guy who is going to play pretty well. And then the Chargers went Omarion Hampton.
Running back. 2 running backs in the division.
Almost makes you glad that you have your linebackers lined up. Almost. I don't want to say that too loudly because I know Kyle's in the chat, and I don't want to trigger him.
Hey, Nick Bolton about to feast on, or he better feast on Jeanty and Hampton. Yeah. I'll tell you what, they're gonna that contract looks just like maybe 1% better now after those 2 picks.
Yeah, and it's kind of backwards because sometimes you draft to beat the division people in your division. It feels like
okay. I hate to cut you off there, Tom. There has been a trade with this next pick. It looks like the Eagles have traded up 1 spot with the Kansas City Chiefs. Per Mike Garafolo.
I'll take it. Whatever they got, I'll take it.
Let's see. Moves are being made. Yeah, trade alert. The Chiefs actually just traded it or just tweeted it out. Move up 1 spot with the Chiefs. So that's kind of interesting. The Chiefs still in round 1, just at pick 32 now. TBD, maybe another move. Sam McDowell of the KC Star mentioning that when he would not be stunned if the Chiefs moved back again. But for now, the Chiefs have moved back 1 pick. Let's see. I'm trying to refresh and see what the compensation is. Trading number 32 and 164 to the Chiefs for 31. So you get an extra 5th rounder to move back 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, and they needed some of those day 3 picks. There's a big gap in their selections. Moving down 1 spot. Obviously, they're not worried about whoever the Eagles are going to take.
Yeah,
I wonder. Exactly. It makes me wonder really to see who the Bills took. I wonder.
That has come in, Tom. It's a guy that you counter jinxed earlier. Kentucky cornerback Maxwell Hairston is the Bills pick at 30, which is not a guy that was really on the Chiefs' radar. I think. It's a good pick for him. Not bad. They obviously have had struggles drafting cornerbacks in round 1, so. Maybe this one will work out better for the Bills. But now the Eagles, not the Chiefs, are on the clock. Interesting. Very interesting move. Now I have to change my graphic to say pick 32 instead of 31, at least.
Well, and Randy's in the chat, Simmons or Burden. Maybe they like both of them very equally, and that's why it's, they're going to let Philly do what they're going to do, and then,
kind of let the pieces
fall. I doubt they're giving that much control, but interesting to see a swap like that.
Very unique. Yeah, it's very unique. It's good.
I'm thinking we might end up out of the first. I wonder if they did that to buy some time, and I wonder if there's going to be a team that comes for Shedeur.
Another team, there might be. Yeah, I mean, we talked about some of the teams that would still want to trade back in for a quarterback.
Yeah, so 163 is that 5th rounder. So they have a 1, 2, a 3, 3, 4, and then that 164 gives them a 5th, so they're not going from the 4th to the 7th.
Patrick Mahomes has just tweeted out a sunglasses emoji. So
he likes.
Pete Sweeney also mentioning he wouldn't rule out a 2nd straight trade back. Also another thing, we talk about getting that extra 5th round pick with that. That's also just one more piece of ammunition you could potentially use to trade back up. Maybe take one of those 2nd rounders and trade up into the 50s or something like that. TBD, TBD. It's still a lot of question marks. It's a good move. I mean, regardless, I think that's a good move. No matter who the Eagles choose, it's probably, like I said, a guy who the Chiefs weren't too worried about selecting anyways. But
I do love that. He only traded down 1 spot because
exactly. It's not too bad.
He wants to trade up. He doesn't want to trade down. He's like, all right, fine, I'll trade down 1 spot. That's it.
Exactly. Patrick Mahomes is getting everybody in a tiffy by tweeting that cool emoji. And the Eagles pick is in, and it's Chiefs wouldn't have been worried about that. It's Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell. So,
damn it.
Yeah,
that's a good player. I mean,
he's a really good player. I mean, he is a good player, off-ball linebacker. Obviously, has some edge rush potential, pass rush potential to him. Probably, I mean, arguably the best linebacker in the draft for sure, which was kind of not a great linebacker draft, but yeah, definitely something that I don't think the Chiefs would have probably entertained going first round, especially signing Nick Bolton and all the guys that they have. So, not bad. And here we go. Once again, the Chiefs are on the clock until they might not be. So we'll see.
Hey, maybe they're just more comfortable picking at 32.
Exactly. Everyone their mock drafts last year saying that the Chiefs are going to pick at 32, and they're right. They're right. We all said they pick at 32 again this year, and we were right. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I would be pretty excited if they were able to get down into day 2 early and pick up some draft.
By Patrick Mahomes tweeting, it seems like they're probably going to select someone here, just because.
Yeah, and it could be.
They probably tell him if not. But it seems if Patrick Mahomes is tweeting out a cool emoji, it probably means offense. Probably. I mean, I don't know. That's reading the tea leaves. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but.
He's been pretty supportive of whoever Kansas City drafts. I mean,
he is. But I mean, if he just got a new weapon to throw to in Luther Burden or something, then I'm sure he'd be quite thrilled. Or if he has another new blindside protector in Josh Simmons, I think both of those options would definitely appeal to him very, very highly. So TBD. We will wait and see. Hopefully. Theoretically, you should already kind of know who you're picking because you're on the clock for the past 7-8 minutes, and now you're on the clock again. So you should kind of have a good idea.
I think they're going to look at all options, obviously. Man, I'm anxious. I'm nervous. Closing out the night. Could be a lot of guys. Could be another trade back. This is it. So while we're waiting, just a reminder: share, subscribe. We are going to do coverage tomorrow all night. It's going to be a busy day. Chiefs have at least 3 picks as it is right now in day 2. Could end up with more if we see that trade here. Garrett, your head's moving like maybe something's happening, so I'm just going to remind you.
I'm pre-preparing my graphics just in case. Two names that are probably most likely here, either Luther Burden or Josh Simmons. So just getting a little ahead of the game real quick. Still nothing confirmed, and like I said, I don't think I'm going to tip this pick. I think I'll let this pick happen as a live reaction to us seeing the call and seeing Roger Goodell announce it.
So are we just going to watch? So you and I are both watching the Pat McAfee stream. Is that how we're going to get this together, or we got some solidarity here?
Well, I might spoil it for myself just so I can have the graphic ready pretty good.
Okay, so we got to pretend to be quiet.
I don't know. Maybe I should just tip it. Should I just tip it? I don't know. Maybe we should just tip it.
Do you know it? Do you already know it?
No, I don't know it yet. I was saying.
I was like, what do you know that we don't know, Garrett?
I'm sure if I refresh Twitter right now, I might know it. So I just don't know.
I'm refreshing. I don't see anything. I do, man. That Jahad Campbell pick to the Eagles is so frustrating. It's so frustratingly good. It fits one of their biggest needs.
How he gets it.
We'll see.
This is crazy. This is pretty crazy.
I still no word on the pick being in. I wonder if we're looking in trade.
Yeah, I mean, still definitely time for some phone calls to come in. Some teams who are interested in moving back up to get that 5th-year option for a guy. Still very much on the table. I feel like I'm just gonna. I feel like I'm gonna see. I
think we're both gonna see it, and it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
Man, it feels like time's standing still. I'm not even responsible of my heart's. I bet you my heart rate is up right now. I got my blood pressure cuff. I could take it right here.
You can take it right here. Yeah, we could find out live how it's.
Maybe that's what we do tomorrow. Is we'll do a little live heartbeat monitor tracker for me. I get juiced about the draft. I really do. It is like Christmas morning. Still on the clock. I'm not seeing any picks.
Yeah, how much time is left to pick? It's basically, it's about to happen. The Chiefs are on the clock, and they've been on the clock for about probably 2-3 minutes now. So
Yeah,
it's going to be.
They've gone for a little bit longer than that. So
yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it's true. This on the NFL Network, they've had the Eagles pick us in for a minute, and they still have not announced it on the stage. So that's probably what's delaying things a little bit, is the fact that whoever they're getting to make the Eagles selection or announcement or whatever, just get it together. Come on out, Goodell. They got a band performer on the stage. Wrap it up. Announce the Eagles pick. Then go to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. I think. I really think they're trying to trade out here, but again, I don't want them to go down too far. But if someone's coming up for Shedeur, you might be able to leverage an extra pick. But we'll see. I've got like 9 different tabs open.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So Cleveland has the first pick of the second round and the 4th pick of the second round.
I got a pick is in notification. So looks like we are picking here.
Pick is in notification.
I can't feel my legs.
Okay, not a spoiler, but Jordan Schultz has reported that the Chiefs are staying at 32, and the expectation is a big man. It's a big man expectation. There's only about one name that really is I would expect in that slot. Nothing confirmed yet, but I think I know. I think we might know.
Please.
But TBD still, TBD. I think happened. Are going.
Oh my God! There's silence. There's man. I don't want to jinx nothing. We're gonna let it play out.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is very interesting.
We're gonna let it play out, my friends. We're gonna let it play out.
Let it play out, brother.
We are gonna.
Let's see if I can, as we wait here. Let's see if I can potentially share my screen with the graphic of the pick that is being announced. That might be a fun thing here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Nothing. Hold up. Okay, nothing yet, but let's see. Seems very likely it'll be One Direction.
Like the band?
Kind of like the band, yeah. Kind of like the band.
Are we going to be disappointed?
I don't think we're going to be disappointed.
Chiefs tweeted 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be disappointed. I'm going to keep it real with you.
So.
Man, the anticipation, though. I mean, no one is confirming it, even though it's...
I'm seeing all the old tweets pop up. I was like, trade, the Giants are on the clock at 25. No, it's not.
yeah, it's still...
Where are we at?
Still a little behind, yeah. Still nothing confirmed yet, though. I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you as soon as I see it. I'm going to tell you as soon as I see it confirmed. So it's...
Yeah.
Kind of know, but I don't know.
We're hoping. Yeah. Light your prayer candles. Throw your virgins into the volcanoes. Let's do this, guys. Let's
do it. Yeah, come on, Chiefs. Put that card in. Send that ticket in.
If you can't join hands with us right now, just go ahead and give us a like and subscribe.
Everybody just,
I know you get that all the time.
Hunker down, hold the line. It's about to get a lot crazier. Kyle's saying don't tip it. I don't know, Kyle. I don't know.
Tip it. Kyle, I'm going to tip you. I'm sorry. That's aggressive. Kyle, love you. You're great.
Okay, I've seen that it's been confirmed, but I won't tip it.
Okay.
I won't tip it, but I'll wait until Commissioner Rodrigo walks onto the stage and says his name. But we kind of know. We do kind of know.
So, good. I'm sorry. I'm more nervous. If and I don't know.
You don't know, but I think you know, Tom. I think you know. I think if you were to refresh Twitter right now, which if you don't want to get tipped, you should not refresh Twitter. But if you were to refresh Twitter right now, you would see the selection. So
who are you following? That
just anybody, Tom. I mean, literally any insider has already tweeted this out. So Jahad Campbell is on stage right now, so we might not might be still a little bit more time until we do it.
Sorry, my hands itched. I had to smack a bug between them. Yeah. If you hear me typing, that's just the group chat. It's very important analysis.
Yeah, very important analysis here.
The clicking noises that you hear currently.
Yeah, the anticipation is killing me that I can't announce this pick right now.
And you're teed up and ready to go.
I'm teed up with you. See,
okay. KC Sports Network has tweeted
exactly. It out. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's tweeting it out.
That's pretty close to it.
Has tweeted the pick is in. I feel like we should. I feel like it's safe to say it, Tom. Would you say
hold
it's
on,
safe to say?
Hold on. Have the Chiefs tweeted it out?
The Chiefs have not tweeted because Goodell has not announced it yet. But
Kyle, are you still with us?
Up to stage. We'll hold. We'll hold.
Full hold. While we hold. If you have not already, like, subscribe, follow. I get it. You hear that all the time from everybody. We're just 3 dudes, 3.5 dudes. Randy's around sometimes.
All right, Roger Hill is walking up to the stage, so I feel like it's a safe enough time now that he is going to be saying it. With the 32nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle. Ohio State, baby. He is the man. This is the future of the Chiefs' left tackle position.
It really is.
Boy, oh boy, is this a good pickup for the Kansas City Chiefs. No, didn't think throughout the whole process. Did not think he would make it here. He is touted as probably the best tackle prospect if he was healthy. Man, what a good pick for Kansas City for not only the short term but long term. I think this is going to be a really good move for the Chiefs, Tom.
Yeah, no, I could not be more excited. This is a guy that if they had traded up for and taken 24 or taken it 24 or somewhere else, like whatever, a couple of different reports that have come out. So already people saying that the medicals were clear. Chiefs, did a lot of homework on his rehab. I'm telling you, this is exciting and this is important because you don't get the opportunity to draft franchise left tackles at this point in the draft, and this is a need that Kansas City has had for so severely for so long. The fact that the Chiefs finagled an extra pick out of this is even more beautiful.
It's good. It's a good move. It's a good move.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. You don't win Super Bowls on draft day, and
no,
winning the offseason, just like the Chargers will tell you, doesn't count for anything. The Chiefs have put themselves in a very good position. If Josh Simmons had not been hurt earlier in this year, I think, I fully believe he would have been the top tackle in this draft. I think that he is so good in space. He knows how to position his body. He understands different concepts. He moves around really well. But more than that, he's got the size. He's got the look. He looks like an offensive tackle.
Yeah.
And man, I'm stoked for it. I'm trying to pull up his measurements. I know the combine had him at 33-inch arms, but his pro day was 34.
I can pull up the measurements on him right now because I had.
I've got that up. Yeah. So for those of you not familiar, the combine this year was weird, and they measured everybody short. So we go with the measurements.
Description. So a little bit about Josh Simmons, hometown San Diego, California. He's going to be 22 years old by the time the season starts. Played at San Diego State for 2 years, Ohio State for 2 years. Obviously, the big knee injury we talked about. He came in at his pro day, 6'4.5", 312, 10 3/8 arms, 34 and 10 3/8 hands, 34 1/8 arms. So at the combine, he measured at 33-inch arms, pro day 34 1/8. That's about the standard for Chiefs tackles. So he fits just about the bill. Just really exciting, really good move. I think it's a really, really good move. He was the guy that basically everyone and their mother mocked to the Chiefs the entire time, and he's here. He is here, which is great. I'm happy about it. I'm real happy about it.
Yeah. I love this is stuff that you just get from Dane Brugler's The Beast. If you haven't picked that up, you should. It's theathletic.com. Dane is the guy.
We got an addition. Looks like. See if
probably. We'll see if that comes in. We've got
Randy
all the way up
What's
north.
going on, fellas?
Hey, what's up, brother?
We can hear the excitement.
Yeah. How do you feel, Randy? How do you feel, Josh Simmons?
I am pumped. I honestly did not see that happening. I didn't think he would get to us.
Yeah, that's
really I'm excited.
Huge.
Yeah. And
I would have joined on earlier, but I was in a little small town bar here. It was kind of loud, and I was like, "Yeah, that's going to be a lot of weird voices in the background." And of course, the two buddies I was with were not going to cooperate politely. So
yeah, that's pretty valid.
Well, hey, listen, we've been in the bed of your truck before, or your cab.
Yeah,
our first time.
Phrase. You watch yourself.
We got a reaction from Kyle. Yay, with a couple periods. So Kyle might be a little questionable about it. We'll see. You'll see it.
He doesn't sound as excited.
Health is obviously a big concern.
As far as staying healthy, I get it. The patellar injury is concerning. The two things that this is not just good for Kansas City. This is good for Josh Simmons because there's not going to be that rush. And I was saying like the draft guide. So Josh Simmons' half brother is actually a strength and conditioning coach. He's done it for the White Sox, and then now he's the head strength and conditioning coach for the Phoenix Suns. Got a pretty athletic family, a big baseball family. So the last time the Chiefs drafted a player from a baseball family worked out pretty well. He's also got some NFL players in his family tree, but as far as the injury goes, it was a significant injury, but they did the research. They brought him in. I'm sure they really did a lot of things. He's at a big program where we know he got a quality opportunity to rehab it, and the Chiefs have Jalen Moore on the team. If they need to give Josh some time to get up to strength, and that's going to be the biggest thing is when you're coming back from a lower body injury like that, it's rehabbing that strength and that balance to avoid the chance of re-injury. But I'm telling you, this would have been my offensive tackle one based on measurables, based on overall profile. Had he not had that injury, this could be a really, really good pick and a draft that's doesn't have a lot of big pieces in it. The upside here is what's got me so excited. This could be your franchise guy, and you haven't had that.
For sure. Even injured right now, he's the most athletic tackle on our roster.
Yeah. And like I said, we talked about a little bit earlier on the show. It's definitely an ideal spot to go to for the Chiefs. Doesn't have to start at left tackle right away if he's not fully recovered. Obviously, can kind of redshirt behind Jalen Moore. It'll be interesting to see how that camp battle goes. Jeremy Fowler just tweeted a little good analysis. Several teams agree Josh Simmons had best tape of any offensive tackle last year, and they aren't very concerned with recovery on the torn patella tendon. More of the concern is maturity/character, but he's going to the ideal veteran-laden place, which is very valid. Yeah, that was kind of a late flyer, late thing that came out about Josh Simmons, a little like maturity or his character. It seemed like mostly just like, does he love ball or not was kind of the biggest thing, not really many like red flags as far as character and things like that. I can only imagine going to the Kansas City Chiefs getting to protect for Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure he's going to love playing ball in Kansas City. I don't think there's any concern about that in my head.
Yeah. Right, for sure.
I think it's an interesting narrative because one, that's a pretty late narrative for that, but I think that's something you can flesh out with the kid, and if it's concerned about if he loves ball or not, like Andy's been around long enough, Brett's been around long enough that they know, and I think if you're rehabbing an injury and your rehab's going well, like you got to love this game to go through the rehab process for an injury like that. So,
for sure.
I'd also heard that some maturity. He's 22 years old. 22. Just turned 22 in December. So, I get it. I still think he was Brugler's third tackle behind Will Campbell and Armand Menbu, and he has the longest arms of the three. He's got the actual frame that that the Chiefs definitely covet, but he moves so well. Like the pulls, counters, all that stuff. So Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, and they do all kinds of creative things. So if he gets up and running, I think it opens up the playbook to a lot of that screen game that we were missing quite a bit last year. I think Simmons could be an asset for us there. Like I said, I'm jazzed for the potential here, and get him on the field when you can. But man, great pick.
It's a good pick. Definitely a really good pick. So
Yeah.
now
watching a guy his size move on in the perimeter, like in the screen game and even in pulling. Baldy called him a dancing bear earlier in one of his evaluations I was listening to today. But yeah, man, that is if he comes back from this knee and he's back to form, yeah, we got a solid left tackle for a long time now.
Yeah, Andy Reid's first quote about Josh Simmons, quote, "Josh, we felt was a phenomenal athlete, would have been a higher pick if he hadn't been hurt. Rick Bulkholder has done a bunch of work on him, and he's in a great place," per Andy Reid. So that's a pretty good endorsement of him already. Obviously, the Chiefs felt very comfortable about everything medical-wise, that they were more than happy to make this pick at 32. This is a really good pick. I think this is a home run for the Chiefs. So now we look ahead. The Chiefs have a couple day 2 picks. They have a 1 second rounder, 2 third rounders. Obviously, they now have an extra 5th round pick that they can package and potentially trade up again if they want to somewhere in the 2nd round or 3rd round. Offensive tackle is now off the board and no longer in need. So kind of opens the board up once again for the Chiefs on day 2. Luther Burden obviously still going to be there. He'll probably get selected in the first couple picks of the 2nd round.
Yeah, he's not going to last long.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple guys that I'm sure Chiefs fans would really love that are definitely going to fly off the board pretty quick.
Let's let Landon Jackson slide to us. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Andy Reid says Josh Simmons, he'll definitely be ready for training camp. He'll be able to do some stuff before then as well. So that's pretty ringing endorsements. I'm definitely excited to see the camp battle between Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons. And like I said, long term, this is the move that will hopefully secure your left tackle position for the next decade. That is the ideal scenario with Josh Simmons. So yeah, that was a great night. I'd say that's a great night. I'm very, very happy with how the Chiefs have finished round 1 of the NFL draft. And yeah, I think that about wraps it up for what we've got for you tonight. Definitely be on the lookout at Kingdom Says Pod to see our write-up of Josh Simmons that we're going to have going up probably pretty soon. Probably going to be pretty soon that he gets written up. There may or may not have already been some graphics pre-prepared for him. So, there's a chance that this is going to be an easy one. So appreciate everyone for joining and tuning in tonight. We have 500 viewers on X right now. So that's great. Love everyone tuning in and rocking with us for this past hour that me and Tom and now Randy have been talking. Just a great night. Great little round 1 of the draft. We waited all year for this and ended up getting a pretty solid player. So Tom, any final closing comments on round 1?
Yeah, I mean, could not pick a better way to end for it to play out on round 1, not having to give up anything. This draft gets interesting in these middle rounds. For sure. Stay tuned. We are going to be around tomorrow. I took the day off work tomorrow. That's how serious I am about this. There are some names left on this board. It's not going to surprise me, and it's going to be fun. This is, and they're off to a good start. I would say the number one concern, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, leading in the draft, the number one concern for everybody on board was left tackle. That's been addressed. Now we get to have fun. Now we get to draft some toys and some badasses and some athletes and add depth to this team that's already pretty damn talented. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Make sure you're following us. Turn your notifications on. We're going to be here. We're going to be talking about everybody as it comes and goes. So we're so thankful that you joined us tonight. Randy, so glad that you were able to hop on. Yeah. So thankful for you guys. Love the draft. I've always loved it, but getting to do it with you guys just makes it that much better. So,
yeah. Hell yeah. Randy, closing comment on round 1 and tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Tom pretty much he summed it up there. It was a pretty awesome way to end that first round, getting a guy that we honestly didn't think was going to get to where we were at. Most of us thought if we wanted him, we would have to move up, and then even be able to slide back with one spot with Philly. Which when that first happened, I was like, "What in God's name are we doing?" But to pick up a 5th round pick for sliding back one spot when we didn't have a 5th rounder, that I'll take that and still end up with the guy that we all wanted. So. And like Tom said too, we've talked in the past, like the meat of this draft is now the next 2 rounds. Like there are a lot of really good football players that are all sandwiched in the next couple of rounds. And, we got 3 picks right now in the next or tomorrow. So we have an opportunity to load up on some spots and get some really good football players. So tomorrow's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Going to be a very exciting rest of the draft for the Chiefs, obviously spearheaded by offensive tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. So with that, thank you all so much for tuning in and rocking with us tonight. Like I said, over 500 people in here tonight, which is absolutely ridiculous. We cannot thank you guys enough. Be sure to tune in for the rest of our draft coverage the rest of the weekend. Also, our reactions that we'll probably end up having on Monday or something like that. Follow us at Kingdom Says Pod, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out over at YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts from. We will be on there, and we will keep on rocking with you and providing you guys with some great draft content throughout the rest of the process. So welcome to Kansas City, Josh Simmons, and we hope you enjoy your time here. So have a good night, everybody. Definitely stay safe out there. Have some celebratory drinks. Maybe drink a little Jim Beam whiskey, official sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs. So, have a good night. Have a good night, celebrate, and lock in for day 2 tomorrow. So that's it. Have a good night, and we will see you guys on the next episode.